Okay, felonious mopery here, and there is a lot of it. There is a very troubling case because basically the implications are staggering. It's a case about an FBI agent who decided to commit suicide, apparently, in the middle of a dance floor at a nightclub, an FBI watering hole. Now, one of the problems, many problems with this case is the lack of media coverage, especially when you start to find out the details of this. This fellow named Salvatore Cicinelli, who was a former Wall Street broker who joined the FBI in 2010, and he gave up what was probably a pretty good job to do a more fulfilling job finding out fraudsters and corruption in the FBI. Anyway, after a training session with other FBI agents, I guess they went to a local police FBI watering hole. They partied, nothing seemed unusual, and then just before midnight, he decided to shoot himself. That's alleged. Now, as information starts to trickle out, it's becoming apparent that this is a little bit more to it, and this could be very damning for some high-up people. The FBI on site and the police instructed witnesses to delete any video and photographs of the event. Now that is very, very suspicious. If you're doing an investigation, would you tell people to delete video and photographs? Would you not want to collect them all and see what's out there? Maybe you don't have the actual, maybe you do have the actual suicide. Or maybe you don't have the actual suicide, but maybe you do have some people around where you can kind of identify. Maybe you can identify people who are acting strangely. But they're not interested in that. Likewise, the FBI officials, it tells you how deep this goes, tells the Austin police not to release any information of the death to the media. Now, don't you think that the information of the death would verify the suicide? I mean, how do you commit suicide at a bar? I mean, the most likely way is to put the gun underneath your chin and blow the top of your head off, right? So if you see that, then you can kind of definitively say that, that's how he died, and it was a suicide. Or I guess you can put the gun to your temple, but then you have a chance of hitting somebody else in the room, right? So details of the actual shooting part would be very important. How about if he was shot in the back of the head? Like so many suicides that happen when investigating. I mean, what if that happened? Wouldn't that rule out suicide? So, but they're keeping this hush-hush. The media doesn't know, and quite frankly, they just want it to go away and be quiet, right? Because they're telling witnesses to stay offline and keep quiet about it. And if I was a witness, maybe I'd follow what they're saying, because, you just don't know. I mean, these guys the witnesses would be FBI agents and police officers? My goodness. Anyway, it does get pretty weird, because let's get back to Cicinelli's role at the FBI. He wasn't just a field officer or an interrogator. He was part of the financial crimes unit. And he was pretty high up, apparently a pretty bright guy. So you're saying maybe there's a connection with who he's investigating and his death. There might be a connection. So who was Cicinelli investigating? That's right. The Clinton Foundation. Now, if that is not a connection, I don't know what is. I mean, somebody investigating the Clinton Foundation and gets suicide, that seems to be a pretty common thing that happened to people investigating the Clinton Foundation. And why is the media not covering this? In actual fact, I'll show you that they're actually doing the opposite. Donald Trump, just to compare, let's do a little comparison. Donald Trump was approached by a Russian who was eager to meet him. Why? Donald Trump is one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. So yeah, he's going to have people who are eager to meet him from all walks of life, from everywhere, right? Somebody's going to be interested in meeting him. And the media could not help themselves, but they made the connection to Soviet collusion with just that one thing. But here is an FBI agent who dies while investigating the Clintons, and they don't touch it. In actual fact, what do? Let me just show you the whole thing. They actually make a little bit of an alibi. Well, trying to excuse the Clintons. Why Hillary is getting blamed for a recent spat of unconnected deaths. Unconnected? Everybody who dies is investigating the Clintons. And that's unconnected? Just recently, there was a judge whose plane went down in Brazil. Brazilian judge. And then wasn't there an Ecuadorian president who committed suicide? And is everybody who touches Anthony Weiner's laptop ending up dead? This is unconnected? My God, just unbelievable. And you have to wonder how deep, how far does this go? When you consider all the people who have left their positions of office and the connections with the Clintons, like James Comey, right, who's rooting for the Clintons, right? Andrew McCabe, John Clapper, and Brennan, all people who have left their positions but were positions of power and still probably have connections. Remember, Brennan was supposed to lose his security clearance after Trump deleted it, but he still was getting security clearance after that. They had to kind of like go back and say, why is he still getting security clearance when the president of the United States told him no more? Very suspicious events going on. I hope this starts to really put focus, because I don't think you can just ignore this one. You know, in the beginning there were just maybe coincidences, but this like so many getting blamed for so many deaths that are connected to the Clintons. Anyway, Felonious Mopery tuning out. Bye for now.